Minasan konnichiwa, this is Matt Okohara from the Matsumoto Castle Gun Corps, and today we're going to look at Bushido and the way of the gun. For this upload, we will not only be reviewing gunnery tactics, we will also be looking at the Book of Bushido, the complete guide to real samurai chivalry by Anthony Cummins. A significant portion of this book is directed to samurai gunnery. So let's compare battlefield tactics and the way of Bushido. The samurai and the gun, a combination that brought a dramatic change to Japanese warfare. Gunpowder had come to Japan soon after its invention by the Chinese in the 9th century, and primitive cannons known as teppo were believed to have been introduced during the Mongol invasions. Incidentally, the word teppo is still used. It means iron gun. But this makes no reference to the firing mechanism, for example, hinawaju. The hinawaju or matchlock gun refers to the firing mechanism, which makes it distinct from teppo or iron guns. In 1543, 3 Portuguese adventurers inadvertently became the first Europeans, or some of the first Europeans, to arrive in Japan. They were travelling aboard a Chinese ship that was forced to take shelter from a storm on the island of Tanegashima. There they were met by the samurai, and they met the lord of Tanegashima, Tokitaka Tanegashima. Impressed by the weapons, this daimyo of Tanegashima bought 2 matchlock guns at well above market rate. Now it is important to remember that this happened in 1543, and the modern concept of Bushido did not happen for almost 100 years after the arrival of guns in Japan. The Tanegashima clan, after 1 year, had managed to replicate 10 guns, but within 10 years they were being manufactured all over Japan. Their first use in a defined military force was the Battle of Uedahara in 1548. By the year 1560, many daimyo had reduced the number of spearmen so they could increase the number of gunners they had in their forces. A Japanese general known as Oda Nobunaga used gunners to great effect in 1575 in a battle at Nagashima. The outcome of this battle caused one general to remark, "Forget the spears, send us guns, powder and ammunition." And it was for this reason firearms were extensively used during the Sengoku Jidai, or the Warring States era, and during the invasion of Korea. All of this points towards a well-trained military using firearms for the first time in Japanese warfare. Many people interpret this to be that the ashigaru, or the infantry, were armed with guns. And of course this is true. But the upper echelons of society, the samurai, were also great users of firearms. Did the samurai use guns? The simple answer is yes. Of course, this depended on the role of the samurai. Far from just being warriors, they were also the cultural stewards of Japan. They responded to the needs of the population much in the same way that the politicians of the modern world do. A samurai assigned to oversee a village or town had little need for a gun. But those assigned to lead ashigaru, or infantry, into battle would often want to take some sort of firearm with them. Those on horseback would take a tanzutsu, which is a pistol-type matchlock, or bajozutsu, which is a carbine-type matchlock. And we know this to be true because of the vast collection of matchlock guns we have at Matsumoto Castle in the Akahane collection. It is sometimes heard within the samurai enthusiast community that samurai would not use guns, and this is simply not true. There is overwhelming evidence for the use of guns by both samurai and ashigaru foot soldiers and great lords such as Oda Nobunaga and Toyotomi Hideyoshi, where they used guns effectively on the field of battle. The simple fact is that the gun changed the face of samurai warfare in the 16th century, and it was only afterwards, during the time of the peace, that the love of the gun diminished in the face of the romantic idea of Bushido. We know this because it was not until 1616 that the word Bushido was first published in literature. And as it was only the samurai caste of the upper class of society that knew how to read, we knew that this Bushido publication was directed towards this part of society. It is even more telling that the first international publication of Bushido was not until 1896, during the imperial era of Japan. Essentially, Bushido developed between the 16th and 20th centuries. This is well after the classical samurai era, also known as the Warring States era or the Sengoku Jidai. We hope you've enjoyed this upload of Bushido and the way of the gun. As you can see, samurai warfare was as complex as modern warfare is today. If you are interested in finding out more about the way of the gun or Bushido, then make sure you follow us here on YouTube. But we also have accounts on Instagram and Facebook as well, and we are available at www.gunsamurai.com.